welcome to the Pagan Perspective. My name is Angel and I'm your Wednesday host. And before I go into this week's question, I just want to let y'all know that I'm going to be going to Subs Week. So I will be, I believe, Wednesdays at the end of the month. I work full-time and I am a full-time student now. So it's pretty much only time to eat and sleep. So the collab channel has graciously allowed me to go back to Subs Week, where I started. And so I will only be seeing you guys once a month. Hopefully it won't be forever, but we'll see how things go. Alright, so now on to the question, buying and selling magical tools. Or goods. If you or someone you know sells magical tools, ingredients, divination, readings, art, commissions, etc., how do they set the prices? If you buy these kinds of things, how do you decide whether a price is fair or reasonable? And how much does the price matter relative to other factors such as material sources and seller reputation, reviews, and things like that? So we'll take the first one first. So how do you or they set the prices? I don't really know how they set the prices. I assume they set them typically how you do a business. What's your time worth and how long does it take you to produce the product or do the service, and what's your cost of material. Some people also, you know, unless it's readings or such, they might, if they have, they may use part of their home in their business and they'll write that off, but that's also a cost of storing and things like that. So there probably is a lot that goes into how they determine the price of their products or their services. How you set the price, or I mean, I don't sell anything, so I would assume that I would take in all regular business fees or charges into account when I was making a price for something. Like if I sold one of my paintings, I would look at what the container of paint cost, roughly how much I think out of that container I used, the cost of the canvas, my time, you know, what my time is worth, what I think my time is worth. Probably would go on what I get paid at work, kind of, you know, and I would devise a price in that way. I think some people basically come up with prices that are compatible with other people in the area, and maybe they didn't do all of the figuring. They just figured that's a area, you know, what people usually charge, so to be competitive they charge that amount. If you buy these kinds of things, how do you decide whether a price is fair or reasonable? You know, I think it really depends on a lot of factors. If I really, really want something and I know I can't make it, because I'll try to make it first, just because I like making stuff. If I really want something and I know I can't make it, and I'm not, you know, I'm not getting crazy. You know, I do have extra money during the month, but certainly not going to dip into like the mortgage and stuff like that. So within reason of what I feel I'm able to spend extra, I will pay quite a bit of money for things that I want. You know, I'm fortunate that I have that ability to do that because I have a good job and my husband has a good job. We don't have children. We don't have any. Well, we have lots of animals, and they are expensive, but we have a lot of leeway with our finances where some people don't. So you have to look at your actual finances too. But it's also, do you really want it? Can you make it yourself? Do you want to try to make it yourself? And also, you know, before I go into the last question, I'll say this. I recommend people to make their own magical tools and goods and things like that. You're putting your energy into it, and it does not have to be perfect for it to be functional and work. So I know that a lot of people will go out and spend hundreds of dollars getting all this stuff that they think they need for their practice. Some of it, you know, legitimately you do need, but there's a lot of stuff I bought when I started on my practice that I never used. I just read it in the book and thought I needed it. So be practical. And another thing I found that I like better than buying something new a lot of the time is I like buying used stuff and stuff that was originally sold for a different purpose, and I use it for my purpose. Trying to see if I have anything around here. Well, can't think of anything right now, but so I like to buy stuff used. So when it's fair or reasonable, it's really going to be a matter of your finances. You know, is it something that you have? Sorry, my ferrets are awake, which means they're destroying stuff. All right, the last question: how much does the price matter relative to other factors such as material source or seller reputation or reviews? Well, of course, that's going to depend on what your opinion is about that particular seller or artist or what have you. If there's an artist, and I can't remember her name right now, but she's on Etsy. She's expensive, but I am in love with her art, so I will pay, you know, kind of a ridiculous amount of money for 8x10 of something she did. I like eclectic things in my house. I don't like things being the same. I generally don't buy furniture that all matches. You know, I like that it's different. So, and her art is very different. So I like to buy that, and I can't make it. So, she's becoming, I think, more popular. But I know her art is beautiful. So, I don't know that it's necessarily worth what she's selling it for, but it is to me, because I look at the art and I'm mesmerized. I look at it and it almost takes me to a different place, and that, to me, that transportation, that mental transportation, means more to me than what I pay for the picture. So the other thing is too is, you know, I don't use animal product stuff. I know when I buy things, I'm going to have to buy it vegan. Vegan is more expensive for a lot of obvious reasons. And so I know just inevitably, because the society is not in a place where everything's vegan, so everything's very competitive. So I know that I'm going to have to pay more for anything that's vegan or organic or natural, the real natural. And so I know there's going to be a higher hike in price for that. And so I go into it knowing that. It's really the best thing to do too is just to educate yourself on what you're looking at. You know, if you're not sure they're charging the right price for things, and to be very, very honest, a lot of places overcharge for stuff. They just, I don't know what it is, and people are probably going to be really mad that I'm saying that, but I go into stores and I look at it and I think, that's just robbery. That's just such robbery. So, I mean, you look at it and you go, I can buy that on Amazon for at least half the price. So if you're not sure about something that somebody's charging you, then look into how it's made. Maybe watch some videos on it and go, wow, that's very intense. That's definitely worth it. or look up an article on what goes into it, you know, maybe the training behind creating it, and kind of get an idea of what goes into it, so you know that it's definitely worth it because you've seen how the whole process. Trying to find out or trying to decide the cost, the reasonable cost of things for anything is really tough. Whether you're buying a house, whether you're buying a car, whether you're buying a dresser. I mean, you know, I know for me, I'm always afraid I'm going to find it cheaper somewhere else. So I do my research before I go into it. And that's what I would suggest that you do. But also understand that a lot of places just overcharge. A lot of metaphysical shops overcharge. And I do understand some of the ideology behind it. But at the end of the day, pagans in general that I've ever been connected with do not value money, so they don't seek it in large amounts. They're generally very humble people, and they don't have a lot of money to be spending all this money on these expensive items. So it just seems very weird to me that people would sell overpriced things to people who really can't afford to pay that. So my suggestion is, again, just to wrap it up, because I'm rambling, I'm tired, I just got home from school. Do your research, look into it, see how much it costs to create it, make it, design it, whatever, and look at the whole process and see if you think it's worth it. There's really no other way that I know how to do to figure out the price of things, because that's what I do to figure out if I want to pay something. And also understand with certain things that you're, you know, just because of the way the industries are, you know, for me, for instance, if I want to buy vegan, organic, what have you, I just know inevitably it's going to be a higher price. I have to accept that for right now until the industries change. So also be aware of certain things that you might be interested in that are not exactly inexpensive, and keep that in mind. And also, if you really, really like something, you can afford it, and you can't create it. You know, you can't design it, you can't whatever. Then pay the price. You know, it's worth it. And I'm of the mindset that experiences are always worth the money. So if you're going to get a reading from somebody that you're really excited to get a reading from, but they're a little expensive, but you've heard great things, you know, weigh your pros and cons, that sort of thing. Anyways, I hope this helped. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down below. I'm a little slower getting back to people. I apologize, but like I said, I work full-time, I go to school full-time, and I don't get on the computer for anything other than schoolwork a lot lately, so I apologize. But anyways, that's it for this week for me. I will see you guys at Subs Week and Subs Weeks after that. And thank you everybody for watching my videos for however long I've been doing regular hosting. It's been a while, and I appreciate your comments. Everybody's been really awesome, so thank you so much, and I will see you guys on Subs Week. Have a great rest of the week and blessed be. Bye!